Okay. Okay, so I want to talk about a pitfall that a lot of new talent makes, a pitfall that I made myself when I first came out here, and a pitfall I could see myself, um, you know, relapse into from time to time. And that's why I'm sharing it. It's the pitfall of forging success. It's like, or forging credibility, or forging the idea that you have made it when you're simply on your way. And the reason why this is so important is we just talked about the topic of the things that make us buy or support a business or a brand. Is basically comes down to three elements of being is to know someone, to like them, and to trust them. It comes down to know, like, and trust. And I don't believe a lot of people who are trying to enter this industry realize those three pillars to success economically, success socially. It comes down to being, knowing, liking, and trusting. And because of that, people derail from that so much so that they're in this hamster wheel, they're in this rat race they can't escape out of, where they're not getting work, they're not getting new clients, they're not getting new customers, they're not even making new friends, and they're slowly losing what they currently have based off of not following that law, those three unbroken components to success. So I would like to go back on this topic and ask you, once more, your thoughts about being known, liked, and trust in business.
It couldn't be more true, man. It definitely couldn't be more true because if you think about it, back when the movie star was more prevalent, back when there was a lot of original ideas, you would see a movie. You probably wouldn't know what the movie is about, but you would see that your favorite actor's in there, or an actor who has been in a lot of different projects and who you feel like like, and trust that you can go and watch them and it'd be worth your money to go see. Will Smith, Denzel Washington, Leonardo DiCaprio,
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, man, Tom Cruise.
Great example.
Exactly. He's a prime example of someone who people feel like that they know, they like, and they trust, And I feel like with any business and any brand, you don't want to rush credibility.
No.
Credibility takes time. And that's something that even I struggle with, and I have to realize is that to build credibility takes time.
Takes time.
To build trust takes time.
Yeah.
You can't rush that. You can't. It has to be authentic. If you try to rush it or anything, then you might have a little bit of success, but you won't have long-lasting success.
Yeah, trust the process. Don't rush the process.
Exactly. And two prime examples who I think of immediately, Tom Cruise, Will Smith.
Yeah.
Both very, very, but you feel like you know both of them.
Absolutely.
You feel like you can trust them.
Yeah.
And you definitely want to buy from them, or they definitely have they have likable characteristics that make them very, very likable people.
Yeah.
And
this is not, and I love Idris Elba. I'm using as an example though. If Idris Elba went up and slapped somebody on stage the way that, Will took care of business, whatever, Idris Elba will never work again.
I agree.
He wouldn't work again. And it's not that we don't like him, we don't trust him, we just don't know him well enough. Even though he's been in the industry for more than a decade, going on 2 decades, we still don't know him well enough. But with Will, we all feel like we know him. We've been watching him since he was 18, and so we know it's an out of character moment. And so it just farther reinforces the idea of know, like, and trust.
And the dude's a blockbuster king too, so it's like he has that track record of people really feeling like that you know him.
Exactly. We've seen his characters cry. We've seen his characters die. Like in I Am Legend, how many ranges of emotions did he face in I Am Legend alone?
Yeah.
How many ranges of emotions we felt in Pursuit of Happiness?
iRobot. People forget about that movie.
We forget about iRobot,
yeah.
Of course, but Pursuit of Happiness. Like, how can you not relate to a father who's trying to, get the job done? Like,
trying to take care of his son. I think one of the most sad moments from that movie and the most relatable was when he was sleeping in that bathroom.
Yeah.
With his son. And there was someone constantly trying to get into the bathroom, wondering why the bathroom's locked. And it was very, very sad and depressing moment. And the world was already in love with Will Smith, but in my opinion, I feel like he should have won an Oscar for that role.
Absolutely.
I think he should have won an Oscar for that
There's
role.
no excuse in Hollywood. You'll never be forgiven for that because that there's no excuse. Pursuit of Happiness should have won the award for whatever year it came out, and I don't care if it came out side by side with The Revenant. It should have won the award.
No, I don't care. And there's, like I said, there's two mishaps I'll never forgive. Denzel should have won for Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Will Smith should have won for Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah. Yeah, and part of the Pursuit of Happiness was when he was, I also felt when he was like clapping above his head.
Yeah.
When they gave him the internship at the point, or I think they promoted him or gave him the internship. I think they promoted him to he actually got like a salary. Like to see him go through that change and him realize that he's now working there.
People love a rags to riches story, man. People love, at least in America, I can't speak for the rest of the world, but we love underdogs here.
Yeah.
We fall in love with underdogs. And with Will Smith playing the underdog in that movie, just made everyone, like, yes, he was the big cocky guy in Bad Boys, and he was the savior in iRobot, and I'm pretty sure Pursuit of Happiness came out before I Am Legend. But as far as Pursuit of Happiness, we've never really seen Will Smith in that type of role before.
No.
That was like the first role where it was like, hey, like where it was almost felt Oscar-ish. Oscar, you know what I mean?
Dude, I don't know what awards I cleaned up. If y'all can find a way to go back and give this man the awards for that, but let's circle around back to the premise here.
Yeah,
it comes back to the idea that we know him.
Yes,
we know that's out of
character.
character.
We feel like we know him.
We feel like we know him. I have to emphasize that we feel like we know him, and so we know that whatever moment he has, whatever this man does, of course, don't test that. But we feel like us knowing him overrides that. And, like they say, the truth sets you free. We feel like we know his truth.
Yes. And you can make an argument that, I don't mean to cut you off, that Will Smith is bigger than Tom Cruise because look at this man's social media following just on YouTube, on Instagram.
Yeah.
There are actors who have who are certified Instagram. They have Instagrams, they have YouTube. They don't have a bigger following as Will does.
Will is massive. And I'll tell you how massive he is. I saw him. I saw him about 3 months before, 2 months before the award ceremony, the Oscars that one year. I hate talking about it, but it's just what it is. And I saw him at the same stadium, some of the same arena that they held the Oscars in. It's over here in Hollywood, off of Hollywood Boulevard, and when he was there, I'll tell you, man, there's every race there, every age, every demographic, standing up crying, had his shirt on. People had a Will Smith or Fresh Prince, whatever. And he's the most charismatic person I've ever seen in a room. And these people feel like they knew him. Everyone felt like that was their best friend. And so to hear him talk, people just I knew at that moment he's the most famous person in the world. Another example is in 2019, I asked my sister who she want to meet, what celebrity she wants to meet more than anybody. And my sister at the time was, in her teens, and she's like, Will Smith. I'm like, Will Smith? I mean, it's 2019. Will Smith didn't have a film probably for 4 years at that point. Will Smith did Suicide Squad. We didn't really do much then. Like, Will Smith? She's like, yeah, I like his Instagram. I like his social media videos. They're funny. I'm like, this guy has extended himself again. How do you extend yourself to more people? All 8 billion people know, all 7.8 billion people know you. How do they know you even better now?
Dude had a YouTube series for a little bit of just his life and everything.
That's an art, man. The art is not the platform. YouTube is someone else's business. YouTube belongs to these 2 guys who started PayPal, went on to start YouTube. Facebook is Zuckerberg's business, right? Instagram is Zuckerberg's business now that he's bought it. These are not Will Smith's business. But Will's also an entity of its own. That's what I'm trying to get at. And we know, we like, and we trust him, despite anything else. Same with the Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is, or I can't say Tom Cruise because there's only one. Same with Tom Cruise. Same with a couple.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Same with Leonardo DiCaprio. We feel like we Titanic was a large part why people feel like they know him. Mm-hmm. To this day, I don't care what film he's done since. We feel like we've known him from that moment.
No role. I don't think even as far as roles has been bigger than Titanic, because Titanic's one of the most highest grossing films of all time.
You know what? Now that you say that, there is no role bigger than the role of Jack and Rose, and certainly Jack in Titanic. There's no role bigger because the other two films that gross higher than it was Avatar and Marvel.
The Avengers Endgame, I think.
Endgame.
Yeah.
And both of those had so many actors in it. Where Titanic's the third highest gross, and they only had two
main ones.
Two main ones, right? And so there's not a bigger role.
None.
There's none, and so that explains that one. There's explanation to all of this, guys. And I'll tell you, the formula breaks down to the same thing of know, like, and trust.
Yep.
And so when you're out here, you're trying to forge your success. You're trying to convince people you're a big shot. You buy yourself a really nice car. You get a really nice place. You're wearing all this nice stuff and trying to show that you're wearing brand stuff to show that, hey, I'm an actor, da da da. You're working backwards because you're doing all this stuff, but you're still not likable. And everybody, all the decision makers you're talking to, all decision makers that you care about, I'll tell you right now, they already have money. They already have success. They already live in a house by the beach. They don't need you coming in there showing your Gucci products, the newest Jordans. They don't need you showing all that stuff to them. They don't care about that.
They don't.
They know that money does not buy happiness. They know that money doesn't say much about your character. And so really, really hone in on the likability factor, and don't try to be likable. Aim to be authentic. Know that your interests are okay to have them. It may not be the popular choice or interest, but know your interests are, it's okay to have them. No speaking unfiltered as long as you're not aiming
being disrespectful.
As long as you're not aiming to hurt somebody else. Like, you swing your arms wherever you want until it reaches the tip of my nose. Sir, you can say whatever you want until what you're saying starts affecting, something that we historically went through, like some race related.
Yeah.
Right? And that's when I ask you to, chill it, cut it out. And I know there's boundaries that we're all learning. There's boundaries we're all learning as a nation and as a society. But I just want to continue harping on that know, like, and trust principle and forging it, in different ways, whether it's through an unauthentic following, whether it's through, whether it's through buying like a verification, whether it's through this, whether it's through that. There's some things that help you get high visibility to be seen, but if it doesn't have the likability factor, your career is
it's not gonna last very long.
Not gonna last.
That's in
long.
anything. That's in any field.
Any field, dude. And another field I'll use is Drake. Drake's very good at, and he gets caught up in roadblocks too. I see it all the time, but he's really good at shouting people out on their songs. He'll do a song with somebody, he'll always like have a bar in there, and not like it's about like, he'll shout like
Take Keith.
Yeah, shout Take Keith. He'll shout out Wheezy. He said, he shout out Wayne. He'll shout out Wheezy, Wheezy F Baby, which is Wayne, or he'll shout out Wheezy, the producer. He does that because, it's part of good business, but it's also the right thing to do. There's several methods to this industry, guys. Some methods to just life and overall social survival, and get familiar with that as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
Your success depends on it. It's Black Hollywood.